Hi, Divine Family. This is Nams from Astro Sadhguru Mantra, and I'm back with yet another reading. Today's reading is a bit different. Today, we are not talking about your future prediction, neither we are talking about your career or wealth, or we are not talking about even your love life. Today, it is all about you, your personality. Okay, what are your secret strengths? What is your next glow up is going to look like? And what is your future version, which you're becoming right now? Sometimes we spend so much of time thinking that what others are thinking about us that we don't think about ourselves. So today is all about you. We need to understand ourselves today, and this is what is this reading going to help you with the divine message. We wonder, why do I think the way I think? Why do I why do certain situations only keep repeating in my life? Why me? What is my, sometimes we also try to know what is my greatest gift, or a lot of people have this common question: what makes me different? So, what I'm truly becoming in my life, what is the path or the version I'm becoming in my life? So, this is exactly what we are exploring today. For this reading, I have chosen three powerful archetypes over here from the Indian tarot cards. This are the archetypes represented by the major arcana, and we will unveil them one by one. So, for pile number one, I have the Magician with Usha. For pile number two, I have the Hermit with Rishi. And for the pile number three, I have Temperance with Ardhnarish. You can focus on the piles while I'll give you a small introduction so you understand what each archetype is like and your intuition can get some answers over here. I'll just adjust this. Okay, if you're looking at the pile number one, the magician with Usha, that's the creator, the initiator, the one who transforms the idea into reality, that sort of energy. If you are someone who's naturally dreams and build things, you create and manifest, you may feel drawn to this pile. The pile number two, the hermit with Rishi, is the seeker and the wisdom keeper, the observer. Okay, if you have always felt different, thoughtful, introspective, or spiritually curious, spirituality comes naturally to you, then this pile may be calling you. The pile number three, the temperance with Ardhnarishwar, is representing the alchemist, the integrator, the balance between the masculine and the feminine energies. If your life has been teaching you lessons about balance, harmony, healing, and becoming whole, you may find yourself drawn here. Take a moment, look at all three archetypes. Don't choose with your mind. Choose with your intuition. That's what I'll suggest you because which image is pulling to you your attention, which energy is calling to you, which energy looks familiar is more important in this reading. Which archetype feels like a reflection of your soul right now in this moment is more important. Once you have chosen your pile, we will explore your personality and energetic blueprint, your secret strength, your next week glow up, and the future self that is waiting to emerge right now. If you feel drawn to more than one pile, that is completely okay. Sometimes we are evolving from one archetype into another. The timestamps for all three piles are available in the description below. Take a deep breath, trust intuition, and let's begin. Hi, pile number one. This is Nam from Astro Sadhguru Mantra. And if you come to this reading, that means your intuition has drawn you to this archetype, the magician, with the Usha. Before we go ahead, I would like to tell you that in the interest of the reading, I have laid down your table. These are the oracle cards which we're going to use. And I have divided the reading into three parts. The first is your, secret strength or the hidden strength which you have. Then the next glow up which you're going through. And I have kept a section for your future self. I have chosen the cards as per what we are doing in the reading, so we can have better intuition and better guidance through it. Okay. First of all, I would like to talk about this card, the Usha card, which you have chosen over here, pile number one. Uh, See, it means if you look at the magician, okay, you look at the magician is the master of the manifestation. In the traditional tarot, the magician stands between the heaven and the earth. One hand points towards, points upwards, and the other hands downwards, as above, so below. This reminds us that our thoughts, intentions, and actions have the power to shape reality. But what makes this card even more beautiful is that here we have Usha. Okay, Usha is the goddess of dawn. She brings, the morning. She arrives before the sun. She is the energy that awakens the world. She represents clarity after darkness. She's like a truth after confusion and new beginnings after a difficult chapter, which already tells me that many of you are actually standing at the edge of a new chapter in your life. You may not be fully there yet, but you can feel it. Something inside you now, it's changing and it's coming to a conclusion towards it. In the interest of the reading, I have drawn the cards as Alex said, and the cards I'm using today, the links for that in the description. So if you feel like to explore them, you can definitely do that. Okay, now I would like to open your supporting oracle cards and we will go through them one by one. This is the modern archetype, trend chaser. Okay, this is the karma card with the planet south node. The positive side of this is there will not be anxiety above trouble, anxiety about or trouble. And if you look at the shadow side of it, it says remember, reconsider, now is not the time to. And the emotional card linked to your reading, to your personality, is breakthrough. With the message, breakthrough refers to the moment of successfully breaking through limitations and obstacles. When facing challenge, symbolizing your entry into the new phase, a breakthrough reminds you that despite current difficulties, every effort is paving the way for your success. What a beautiful card for this reading, and going so well with the magician archetype, to be honest. Let's look at your sun oracle card. We have Mercury in Cancer with intuition, with number 4. Okay, we'll talk about this card in some time, but just to tell you, upward, I think on June 1st, Mercury had transited into Cancer. So I think that is something which is, I think this thing is going on for you right now. Whatever we're seeing as your future thing and glow up is this. Okay, I see your tea leaf as carriage, a journey, either physical or mental. Then we have butterfly with the message, a change for the better. What a beautiful transformation card. And we have rooster, an arrogant, boastful person you should not cross. So this is the warning which has come in for us during our evolution. Okay. One of the strongest card you received is breakthrough. And what I find interesting is that breakthrough is not saying your challenges are over. It is saying that your challenges have prepared you for the next level. This this is about a seed over here, okay, because it becomes a tree. It must first break through the soil, and from the outside, it looks like struggle, but from the perspective of the seed, if I say, it is growth. So many of you have spent years feeling blocked, delayed, or misunderstood, maybe. But what if those delays were not punishment? Okay, those delays were not punishment, was preparing you for the next trend. Okay, now if you look at this card, which is saying trend chaser, this immediately gives me a feeling of someone who's ambitious, someone who wants to leave a mark, someone who wants to create something meaningful. You are not satisfied with simply existing, which goes with the energy of the magician, if you see. Okay, you are someone who wants to create something meaningful. You are not satisfied with simply existing. You want to build something, create something. So that is important to you. You want to become something right now. Okay, and that is the archetype you are. That is the reason you're attracted to this archetype of magician over here. Okay, but at the same time, if I look at the karma card over here, okay, this is talking about the south node. The south node is talking about an important lesson over here, because the positive side says that there should not be anxiety about this. And the shadow side is saying, remember, reconsider. So there's a caution over there. And now it is not the time to force things, which tells me that many of you are trying too hard to control the outcome. Okay. Many of you must be, trying to have a control over there. You already know what you want. The lessons now is to trust the timing. The Usha does not force the sunrise. She simply arrives when the time comes. Okay, when it's the time, and the sun follows, and understand while she has death and rebirth every day, she's an immortal. Okay, so maybe there are multiple breakthroughs, but these breakthroughs are actually helping you to become someone important, to become someone enlightened. Okay. And now when I look at the Mercury in Cancer, this card over here, okay, with intuition, I became even more certain about who you are. You are much more intuitive than people realize. In fact, many of you already know the answer to the question you're keeping. You look at the four-hand figure over here, and you look at the three circles over here. Okay, we are talking about a, a power which you already have inside you. In fact, I'll say many of you already know the answer to the question you keep asking. You feel things before they even happen. You sense people's intention. You know when something is aligned and when it is not. But because Mercury in Cancer is strongly connected to the family conditioning and childhood beliefs, some of you may have learned to doubt your intuition. Maybe someone told you that you're overthinking. Maybe someone told you that you are too sensitive, but your sensitivity is not your weakness. It is one of your gifts. This is one of your big powers which we're talking about. Okay. And if you look at the tea leaves over here, all three of them, okay, the first message is carriage, a journey, either physical or mental. This tells me that you are not the same person you were a year ago. You're definitely evolving. You're already in transition. Okay. And for some of you, this could be a career shift. For some of you, I feel this is a spiritual awakening. Okay, for some, a complete change in how you see yourself. Then we have butterfly, the change for the better. If you look over here, one of the most beautiful symbol in any oracle system is butterfly, because the butterfly never returned to being a caterpillar. Okay, you have evolved, and I feel the pile number one, you are reaching to that point, that you are evolving. You have attained that point for you. Okay, and or you are on the journey to do that. Okay, so and finally, when I see rooster, an arrogant and boastful person, like it said, uh, now, this can literally be a person around you. But for many of you, I think this is symbolic. This might be the voice in your head that tells you, or the intuition, okay, that tells you, or gives you the voice has that that you're not ready, you're not good enough, you're not capable enough, and the reading is asking you not to give the voice the power anymore. Okay, pile number one, this entire personality profile, if I look at the oracle cards right now only, okay, is showing me someone who is awakening, someone who's stepping into their power, someone who's beginning to trust themselves. And now that we understand who we are, okay, I want you to move to this part of the reading. Okay, the first part of the reading is your secret strength, because I think some of your greatest gifts are things you don't actually know about. So I would like to move over there. Okay, so, and honestly, pile number one, I think many of your strengths are actually, that you have stopped seeing because they come so naturally to you. Okay, maybe you have traits which are so natural, which is difficult for other people. And let's start with opening your tarot cards in the first row, which is your secret strength, and see what the tarot tells us about this. So we have the King of Wands. Okay, then we have the Temperance. The light is giving a halo to the Temperance. Very beautiful. The Queen of Pentacle. What a beautiful card. And we have the Eight of Cups. And my eyes are right away going towards that the person is moving toward the dawn. So I think I love that the cards are aligning over here to the questions which we are asking. Okay. Uh, Pile number one, like as soon as the first card, actually the King of Wands appear, I had this visual of this is someone who's naturally leads, and we were just talking about the power you forget very easily. So you might be a natural born leader. Okay. You have confidence. Okay. Someone who sees possibilities where others see obstacles. Okay. What is interesting is that many people who carry the King of Wands energy don't always see themselves as leaders, because to them, these abilities feel normal. Okay, you might be the person that friends call when they need advice. You might be the person who naturally takes charges when a situation becomes chaotic. You might be the person who starts project, creates ideas, motivate people, and bring energy into the room. And yet, sometimes you don't recognize this as a gift, because you think, okay, you actually, if you look at the line over here, you actually think that uh, doesn't everyone do this? This is normal. No, but if you look at in the reality, no, people will love to have what you have. Not everyone does this, and this is one of your hidden strength. People are often inspired by your confidence more than you can even realize about it. Okay, and now if you see, it's right next to Temperance over here. Okay, you are not simply a leader, you are also a harmonizer. Okay, you have an ability to bring opposite energies together, different people, different ideas, different viewpoints. Okay, I actually feel many of you could be natural coaches, okay, healers, facilitators, managers, and teachers over here, because you understand both sides of the situation. I'm sorry for the pause there because I suddenly had a cough. Okay, but like coming back to the Temperance card, I think because you understand both sides of the situation, imagine a family argument. One person is emotional, and one person is logical, and most people pick a side. You naturally understand both. Okay, and because you understand both, that is Temperance. You know the power of neutrality. This hidden strength that comes more valuable as you get older, because right next to that, you look at the Queen of Pentacles, because the universe is underlining this message for you. The Queen of Pentacles tells me that one of your greatest gift is your ability to create stability. And how many people can actually stay that? Okay. You may feel, you actually make people feel safe. You make feel people grounded. You make feel people supported. And this doesn't only apply to money. This is something people think. Pentacles, when we have pentacles, always people link it to just finances, but I'll say no. Pentacles in this scenario, because we're talking about a personality and archetype, has much, much deeper meaning. We are talking about someone who creates emotional safety. You help create a practical solution. You help create orders from the chaos. And you are the kind of person who says, okay, let's stop panicking and figure this out. That is your gift. That is your gift. The power you have is immense, and that is your gift. Now, if you look, okay, look at the Eight of Cups just beside the Queen of Pentacles, okay, and this is perhaps the most important hidden strength in your reading, is the power to walk away, the ability to walk away. Many people stay where they are unhappy without taking any action, without doing anything. Many people stay in the job they hate, relationship they have outgrown, version of themselves that no longer fits. But you have a soul that is constantly seeking growth. Okay. And the image of the person walking towards the sunrise, this, which I told you as soon as I picked up the card as well, remind me so much of Usha. Okay. The dawn, the new beginning. Your hidden strength is courage, not loud courage, not the dramatic sort of courage which we're talking about, but the which people usually seek in dramas and everything, but the courage to leave behind what is familiar in order to become who you are meant to be. And that is not, many people never do it. It's very difficult for the people to do it. Okay, with this, I would love to move to this section, which is your next glow up. I would love to see a person with your kind of strength, how they are moving to the next stage. Okay, so your cards over here, a Queen of Pentacles. What a beautiful card. You can see the Queen painting the sunflower and the pentacle. Definitely a huge glow up, but there's a repetition of card, and I will not ignore that for sure. Okay, then we have Eight of Wands. It's under a beautiful waterfall. Queen of Cups. Wow. And we have the High Priestess, aligned with your intuition. Okay. Now, when I'm looking at these cards, okay, immediately the Queen of Pentacle again, like I said, that was my first reaction. This is not a coincidence. Pile number one. Your next glow up is deeply connected to your self-worth. And please note, I'm not saying confidence over here. I'm saying self-worth. And if you see, the light focus is on the pentacle and on the self-worth right now. And that is the reason I channeled it like that. Okay. There is a difference. Confidence can say, I can do it. Okay. But self-worth says, I deserve this. Okay. This is meant for me. Many of you have already developed confidence. Okay. Maybe confidence is natural to you. It's a superpower which is very, very natural to you. Okay, but you are learning to receive. You are learning to receive success. You're learning to receive recognition. You're learning to receive opportunities, receive abundance without feeling guilty. Okay, please understand what I'm trying to say. Without feeling guilty, without feeling like you have to prove yourself first, your worth. Okay, so the self worth is a concept which is you're learning right now, and that is also leading to your next glow up. It's a huge part of your next glow up, because then we have the Eight of Wands, and this is where the things get exciting for me, because after a long period of preparation, okay, the movement has begun, the momentum began. And now I see that the June thing which I told you, the Mercury in Cancer in June, from 1st June, okay, it tells me that this is already, the movement has already started. Things that were felt stuck, had started moving. Their conversation, their projects, opportunities, ideas, connections. Okay, I almost feel like many of you have spent months preparing for something, and suddenly things begin accelerating now for you. Okay, uh, that like how an airplane spends a long time on the runway before it takes off. That is the kind of energy I'm feeling. That is the energy I see. The runway phase is ending, and now we move to, we have started the movement, and we have the Queen of Cups over here. And I absolutely love her position here, because this glow up is not only external, it is emotional. You are becoming more emotionally intelligent, more intuitive, more compassionate towards yourself, less harsh, less critical, more accepting, I'll say. Okay. Many of you are learning the strength does not always look like being strong, putting up a strong face. Okay, sometimes strength looks like being vulnerable, being honest, allowing yourself to feel. Now we have the High Priestess right next to her. Okay, and this card immediately connects back, I think, to the Mercury in Cancer and intuition. Pile one, your intuition is awakening. In fact, I think it has already begun speaking to you. You simply haven't fully trusted it yet. You still need to trust your intuition over here. Okay, in fact, I think you know the feeling, like, when you meet someone and immediately know whether you can trust them. Okay, or when you get a feeling, okay, not to take a certain opportunity, or when you come, something before there is evidence. Okay, that is the energy of the High Priestess I'm seeing in your glow up phase. Your next glow up is learning to trust that voice. Okay, like we were talking about a voice, which is restricting you. And in the but we are saying in evolution of a voice in intuition, or heightening your intuition in a way that voice will help you. Now it will become your power, your tool for you. And that's what I see, that makes you very strong. Okay. And this is the glow up I'm seeing for you. Now let's go to the next phase of your future self. Okay. Let's see what is the future self version of you looks like, and what is how it's evolving after this glow up. Let's look at your cards. Okay, we have just a breakthrough. I just am in awe of the cards repeating themselves in this pile. The energies repeating themselves. The creator. Okay. I mean, the Osho Zen is a. I picked it for future self because it tells you about the future self not as just the prediction, but as the energy flow. And there's a lot of repetition of energy, abundance, the stability we have been talking about, and again, inner voice, intuition. The first card, if you see, has come as breakthrough. Okay, and honestly, I'm smiling because this card appeared in the beginning of the reading right over here. It told us what your future is going to be, and the future version of you has broken through something, maybe a fear, a limitation, a belief, a ceiling, something that once felt impossible to you. And the reason I love this card is because, as I said in this tarot, it doesn't show breakthrough as comfortable. In Osho Zen, breakthrough is not comfortable. Breakthrough requires breaking the shell, breaking the old identity. Sorry, I moved the card. Okay, we're talking about breaking old patterns, and your future self has done exactly that. So kudos to that. Okay, your future self has done that, and if I go to the creator, this corresponds very beautifully with the magician energy over here. The archetype, your full self is no longer waiting for permission, no longer waiting for validation, no longer waiting for the perfect conditions. Your future self is, he acts, he builds. This is the king of wands we're talking about. So we're saying, it's the energy which has repeated for you, if you see. So you are able to use your superpower. You're acting, you're building, you're moving, you're trusting. And then, because right next to that, we have abundance, but we have the abundance in the form of King of Pentacles. From the receiving energy, you have come to the building, stability of the energy. One of the strongest card you could receive. And notice this isn't simply money. Abundance is a state of being. Your future self feel abundant. It feels abundant in confidence, abundant in opportunities, abundant in relationship, abundant in self-belief. Okay, and finally we have the inner voice. Okay, the high priestess again, which corresponds directly to the high priestess. The future version of you trust themselves, trust that voice which we were talking about. This is the biggest difference. If you see from the glow up to this, it's not more about knowledge, it's not more skills, this is not more certification, this is more trust, more alignment, more self-belief, and that changes everything for you. Okay, so when we're talking about as when magician, as above is so below, you if you see, as above so below, but it has expanded with the glow up phase which you're going through in your life. Okay, pile number one. If I had to summarize your entire reading in one sentence, it would be this: you are not becoming someone new. You're finally becoming the person you were always meant to be. And that is why Usha, the goddess of dawn, appeared at the beginning of the reading, because dawn does not create the sun, it reveals what was already there. Your future self is already with you, the light is already there, and you are simply moving towards with this. You're just simply moving towards it. Okay, so with this, I'll close your reading for you, pile number one. If the reading resonated with you and you have your own interpretation of this cards, which I have shared today, you can share your thoughts in the comments with me. With lots of blessing in your path to evolution. I see you in the next reading now, pile number one. Bye. Hi, pile number two. This is Nam from Master Sadhguru Mantra. And if you have come to this reading, that meant your intuition has drawn you to this archetype, which is the Hermit with Rishi. Now, if before we move into the secret strength and the big glow up or the future self which I have laid out on the table for you, uh, before that, I would really like to know what is this reading is for. What is this archetype is getting represented, and for this I'm using the oracle cards over here. Okay, before the moment I look at the archetype, I'm not looking, because when I'm looking at the hermit as the archetype, I'm not looking at someone who is here to learn from the crowd. Okay, we are seeing a form of Rishi, a person who's already learned. I'm looking at someone who is here to discover wisdom through experience. The Hermit here is the one who is the most spiritual card. If you look at that in the tarot, it's just one of the highestly spiritual card. Unlike the magician which we had in the pile number one, who creates through action, the hermit creates through understanding. The hermit, he withdraws from noise. This kind of archetype will also withdraw from distraction, withdraw from the opinion of the world, not because they are weak, but because they understand the true answer were found within. And I think this is represented by the form of Rishi very well. Okay, because the rishis were not simply teacher. Okay, they were the seeker of truth. They withdrew into the forest, the mountains, and the solitude to understand the deeper mysteries of existence. So when I think of the rishi archetype or the hermit archetype over here, we are talking about many of these people who actually gave humanity the wisdom that still guide us today, the mantras, the Vedas. Okay, and that immediately tells me something important about you. Uh, uh, that, pile number two, you are not here to live a superficial life. You may try. I'm not saying you will not, but you may attempt to fit into what society expect. But eventually, your soul with this archetype uh, will always pull you back towards deeper meaning. Okay, you are someone who is constantly will ask why I'm here. Okay, you will constantly will have this figure out this sort of a thoughts process in your head always, that why I'm here, what is my purpose, what is the deeper lesson behind the experience. Okay, and because of this, your life journey may have felt very different from the people around you. In the internet of in the interest of the reading right now, I have kept your oracle cards and your tarot cards drawn over here, and the oracle cards over here will help me understand you more as your personality today. Okay, and the three rows of the tarot cards, the different tarot cards, are to see uh, your secret strength right now, which you have, the next glow up which you're having spiritually and in your strength, and eventually your future self or your higher self, how that will look. Okay, so I will open the cards for you now, starting from the oracle card. This is the modern life card, and I see you as a Zoom meeting survivor over here. Okay, that's another way of meditation in the current modern days. Okay, we have the sign in Taurus in this card. In the positive base is resources to maintain, the practicality, returning from the productivity of, and the shadow side is your belief, the cost of use the most direct way. Okay, we have the emotional oracle card as the resonance, and it says resonance is a deep connection with your thoughts, emotions, or experience, aligning you with the universe is energy. When resonance appears, it reminds you of your connection with wisdom and your true self. Like, again, I think the energy is of going in. Okay, we have the sun and Scorpio with endurance. Your tea leaf is and the work achievement success. I think things are getting clearer over here with your energy. Carrot, opportunity or windfall. And then we have club. Someone will try to make you do something against your will. And I think that's why we have endurance over here. Um, if I'm looking at your cards right now, energetically reading your oracle cards first, okay. When I look at the supporting oracle cards, your personality and your persona pile number three becomes even clearer. The first card that catches my attention is the Zoom meeting survivor, and honestly, this card immediately makes me think of someone who has spent a lot of time alone. Okay, it is giving me a sense of that you have spent a lot of time alone. Someone who had a period of isolation, a period of reflection, a period where life felt slower than everyone else. Some of you may have expected this, experienced this, and during the COVID-19 time, which was like, I think the whole world went through it. But some of you have gone through this phase in a different way altogether. Others may have experienced it emotionally or even with the work from home scenarios, which we see nowadays in the work culture. Okay. I feel there's a feeling of disconnected from people, feeling different from people, though there's an online connection, but there's still a distance, the unsteady distance between people. Okay. But what I find interesting is that isolation is not being shown here as a punishment. It is being shown as a preparation, because if you're going for a meeting, you will prepare yourself. And if you look at the karma card over here, this has a very strong Taurus energy. Okay. The Taurus energy is all about stability, resources, practicality, and building something that lasts. The positive side talks about the productivity. and maintaining of the resources. But the shadow side talks about, becoming too attached to certainty, uh, too attached to comfort, too attached to doing things only in a familiar way. And I think this lesson maybe for many of you who are currently navigating through your life right now, because growth often requires leaving familiar territory. Okay, maybe like the rishi leaving the mountains, or you can also think of this like uh, you know in a way that isolation, but something which you want to experience. Okay, something which you want to do in your life. Okay, I'm seeing like someone literally asking, to do a work from home because they don't want to be amidst the people. They're looking for opportunity where they can be alone in their isolation. Okay, and if I talk about the resonance card over here, okay, uh, the resonance card is actually, honestly, this may be the most beautiful card in your personality profile right now. I'm sorry, but I'm in awe of this card itself and its energy right now. Okay, it is something you recognize. Okay, because something is resonance is not something you can create. It is something, a trait which you recognize in yourself. Okay, like you're just walking on the street, and you see universe talking to you, and you can resonate with the signs. You can, we call them signs, the reticular activation system. Okay, but you're looking because you are resonating. You understand the energies. You are able to understand what they're trying to tell you. Is something which I am feeling over here, looking at these cards. It is something you recognize. Okay, when something resonate with you, your soul immediately knows. You don't need a proof. You don't need a validation at that time, and you simply know your intuition is too high. Okay, the card tells me that you're someone who is increasingly guided by inner alignment rather than eternal approval. So you go within a lot, like a rishi will do. You go within you and try to find the answers. Okay, and you're learning to trust what feels true for you. Now, if I move to the Sun and Scorpio energy over here, okay, with endurance, and this card changes everything. Okay, because Scorpio is a sign of transformation. We are talking about depth, rebirth, inner power, and the image of a figure is wrestling with the lion immediately. Reminds me of someone who has spent years overcoming internal challenge. So look at the meditative state and look at, there's an aggression, there's a fight. Okay. And some of you have survived situations that other people know nothing about. I mean, you have faced emotional battles, financial battles, spiritual battles, psychological battles, I'll say. And yet here you are, still standing. Okay, still standing. You are still moving forward. That is endurance. And that is the strength which we're talking about. Okay, and interestingly, this energy is reflected, again in your tea leaves. Okay, I just tell you what I'm seeing over here. The ant speaks of work, achievement, and success. The carrot speaks of about the opportunity and the reward. But then we have the club. The club is giving a caution over here that someone is attempting to influence or pressure you against your will. Okay, which tells me that one of your life lessons has been learning how to trust your own path, even when others disagree, when others try to change it, pressurize it. And that brings us beautifully into, I think, to the first section. We will have to know what is your secret strength. So let me open the cards for you for this. Okay, we have the Queen of Wands, a very beautiful energy, Knight of Swords, the Hermit again, and the Magician. Wow. Okay, that's a very powerful energy. Okay, it looks like the energy of enlightenment. And to me, to be honest, let me channel this because pile number two, what I see over here, your first hidden strength is the confidence rooted in authenticity. When I look at the Queen of Wands, this is one of the most magnetic energies in the tarot. Because she knows who she is. She trusts herself. Okay, like even if somebody is pushing you, know you who are you and what you want to do. So nobody can push you towards what you don't want in life. Okay, and like Queen of Wands, she is not afraid to take up space. What I find interesting is that the confidence does not come from the arrogance. It comes from self-belief for her. The fire which we see in her is from the self-belief. She knows her potential. She knows her energy. Okay, and it's the it's for experience. It's come from knowing your own value. And I think many of you underestimate how powerful your presence actually is because people naturally notice you. They're inspired by your courage, your creativity, your passion. Okay. And even when you are not actively trying to lead, others often look to you for guidance. This tells me that one of your hidden strength is your ability to inspire confidence. Okay. Not only in yourself, but also in the people around you. Okay. Then we move to the Knight of Swords over here. And suddenly, if you see, the energy has changed. And I'm seeing the switch again and again in your pile. Okay. Uh, because beneath your thoughts and reflective nature is someone who can move very quickly when they are certain about something. You may spend weeks reflecting, months analyzing, but once you decide, you move. Now this tells me that one of your hidden strengths is decisive action. Okay, this clearly shows that you take a decisive action. You decided it. You're not impulsive. You are not impulsive by number two at all. Okay, but once clarity arrives, you commit completely. Okay, now because see, the hermit has appeared again in the archetype reading or a personality type reading for hermit. I have hermit again over here. Okay, and whenever a card repeats itself, I pay attention to it because the universe is emphasizing something. By number two, your greatest strength is self-awareness. Your own light. You are aware. You're capable of learning from experience that would simply break other people. Instead of remaining, stuck in the pain, you seek understanding. Instead of asking why me, okay, like most of the people will do, you eventually ask, what is this teaching me? The mindset, changes everything. And then we also have magician over here. Okay. What is fascinating, because your reading is showing a journey between the hermit and the magician. It is showing a journey. The hermit is becoming the magician. The seeker is becoming the creator. The student is becoming the visionary. The person who spent years discovering their confidence, creativity, inner fire is now stepping into the spotlight and inspiring others through their presence and authenticity. This tells me your hidden strength is transformation, which we saw with the Sun and Scorpio as well. Okay, so uh, you know how to reinvent yourself, and that's your current strength for sure. Okay, now I would like to see what is your next big glow up. Okay, what is changing for you? Let's check your cards. We have a strength card. So see, you from fighting. I think this has come to the calm, and I believe this light actually focuses on what's the right thing over here. So if you see, you were fighting over here and you have come to, understanding, taming your own beast, maybe. Okay, we have the chariot, Knight of Swords, chariots. It shows speed, it shows decisiveness again. Ten of Pentacles, what a beautiful card. In the glower phase, this is one of the best card I can say. And the sun, I'm sorry, I take my words back. The sun is the better card to have over here in your glower phase, because from someone who is, rishis are in the forest, we're talking about coming out in the sun, and this lady has a gong over here. So she is definitely making an announcement that I've arrived. Okay, but I will come back to the strength card first. Okay. Uh, what I find beautiful is that earlier we saw a men, wrestling with the lion, which I was telling you, and now I see the harmony between the woman and the lion. And this tells me that something powerful during your glow up, something powerful has happened. Your glow up phase has no longer. You will not be fighting for yourself in this. You are learning to work with your own power. You will trust your emotions, trust your instincts. You will trust your desires. Okay, this is emotional maturity, which I'm seeing over here. And now we move to chariot, and this is where momentum begins again. Okay, I think there's a lot of momentum over here because chariot never stays still. This card tells you the next globe involves movement. Maybe you will be traveling, there'll be expansion, new opportunities, new direction, forward motion. Life is asking you to stop waiting and start driving. Okay, because then comes the Ten of Pentacles. Okay, and one of the strongest card for long-term success is this card. It shows you that you're building legacies, a family, okay, wealth, stability, community, and everything. The Hermit spent years. The Hermit has, and it has come under the Hermit if you see over here, and I see that everything the Hermit spent years building internally, okay, is now beginning to manifest externally. The card tells me that your future is not meant to be temporary success by number two. It is meant to be, sustainable success. And finally, we have the sun, perhaps the happiest card in the entire tarot. And honestly, this feels symbolic because after spending so much time in hermit energy, you're finally stepping into visibility. People begin noticing you, opportunities begin finding you. Okay, life becomes lighter, more joyful, more expansive. This is the arrival after the journey for you. That's the reason I think this lady is playing the gong that, okay, I have arrived. And that's the energy I see over here during your glow up phase. Now let's check your future self. And for this, we are using the Osho Zen, and this will give us more perspective, not just from a tarot side, but from a spiritual side also. That what is your future self looking like? Okay, I see the Hangman as the new vision, and you can see the sacred geometry over here. Very beautiful card. Turning in, I think the Rishi energy has come back in the form of Four of Cups. Nine of Pentacles, ripeness. You're getting the fruit. Okay, and it has come right on the Ten of Pentacles for you. Connecting with the source. And I feel the sun and the source. Pile number two, I'm so sorry, there was a cut in between, but as soon as I said the source, the light went out, and if you see, the entire lighting has changed for your pile now. I think this is a sign. When something like this happens, I definitely take a sign it as a sign. I think the sign is that you are coming into the limelight, and this will not be easy for you because you're coming out of the hermit energy to a very radiant energy. Think of someone who has been in isolation for too long, and now they're trying to come out of it. So it will be a phase which will need some work from you. Okay. Uh, See, the first card is the new vision. This one, okay, and this is a beautiful card because it corresponds with the hangman. And your future self see life differently now. The knowledge you have gained, the wisdom you have gained during your journey, is actually helping you to understand life in a different form altogether. And you have evolved, so you see things from different perspective. The perspective has changed. The secret geometry here talking, is reflecting the power of your space and mind. And when perception changes, everything changes. That we have turning in over here, okay. And I say it has a resonance to the hermit energy, but this is the Four of Cups. If you look at, okay, I'm saying in the form of Four of Waters or the Four of Cups. Now it feels like it's fluid, it's peaceful. Okay, this has become like a part of your life. You can turn in for your wisdom anytime. Okay, and this is not lonely anymore. This is not isolated. This is connected, grounded, and centered. Your future self understand that answers come from within. And now we move to the Nine of Pentacles with ripeness over here. Uh, what I love about this is that this card in the Oshadhen corresponds to Nine of Pentacles and has come directly in the Ten of Pentacles. And we were talking about building legacy in your glow up phase. And I can see in your future self, this energy of fulfillment is, self sufficiency in the form of, enjoying the reward of everything you have worked so hard to build. So I see that your future self is standing in a season of abundance for sure. Okay. Like, not abundance that arrived by luck. I'll not say it's luck. It's something, the abundance that was cultivated. Okay. The cultivation has happened from the hermit and then reflected in the real world, and then it has creation the self-sufficiency for you here. Okay, this is cultivated through patience, wisdom, and consistent effort. Like it's a daily effort you have put into it. There is a sense of confidence here, a sense of knowing your value, of no longer chasing validation because you have learned to appreciate your own growth. Life feels richer, more stable, and more rewarding. And most importantly, your future self finally allows themselves to enjoy the fruits of their labor instead of constantly focusing on the next challenge. So that is very important. And finally, we have the source, the ultimate reminder that everything is connected. Okay. And I'll say this vertical section itself has created a lot of power. From each phase, when you're ending each phase, you are transforming. Okay, you're transforming your strength into a much bigger powerhouse for yourself. So I'm loving this energy for you. The ultimate reminder is that because everything is connected, your future self understand everything. You present self is still learning. Okay, your future self can already understand this transition for you. uh, you are not separate from abundance, you are not separate from your purpose, you're not separate from the universe, you're the part of it. Point number two, if I have to summarize your entire reading in one sentence, okay, that will be that the wisdom you gained during your period of solitude, as your persona has come out, is about to become a foundation of your success. This wisdom is taking you places. Okay, the hermit was never meant to stay alone forever. The rishi eventually leaves the mountain. Okay, not because the journey is over, but because it is time to share the wisdom with others. And I believe that is exactly okay where many of you are right now who has been attracted to this pile. And with that, I close the reading for you, pile number two. If this reading resonated with you and you have your own interpretation of the card, please share it in the comment with me. Many blessings on the path of wisdom, growth, and self-discovery. I will see you in the next reading. Bye. Hi, pile number three. This is Nance, Master Sadhguru Mantra. And if you've chosen this pile, that means this is pile number 3, and this is the card you have feel drawn to, which is Temperance in the form of Ardhnarishwar. And this is your driving archetype right now. Today we are trying to understand you and if your personality. And before we move into the secret strength, your next big glow up, and your future self, let's first understand who this reading is really for. Okay, if the in the interest of the reading, I've actually already drawn all your cards and laid them on the table. The oracle cards over here will help us to understand your personality, your energy, and what this reading is, meant for. Who this reading is meant for, what is it saying to them, and then through this three tarot section over here, we will explore your secret strengths. This will be the section for your secret strengths. This will be for the next big glow up, which we're talking about, the phase where you were transitioned, and your future self over here. Okay, I think pile number 3, you're definitely going through a huge transition of future self with Temperance over here, because that was the alarm, and I think that usually it happens in pile number 3 with me, but I think that is really, I think, a sort of energy. Okay, pile number 3, I think you're some of those who have the spotlight on them. Uh, the cards I'm using today are listed in the description below. If you wish to explore them, feel free to do that. Now, when I look at your archetype, okay, over here, uh, I feel a very different energy from the first two piles. The first pile was a magician who creates. The second pile had an archetype of hermit who seeks. And over here we have temperance. Now, this is the card of harmony, balance, healing, and synthesis. It teaches us how to bring together the parts of ourselves that seems opposite. Over here you can see two different energies merging together. Okay. Uh, in real life, we can talk about like logic and intuition, in literal sense, the masculine and the feminine energy. Okay, action and patience, material success and spiritual growth. I think I can go on with example, but that what comes to my mind. And when we combine temperance with Ardhnarishwar energy over here, the message becomes even more powerful, because Ardhnarishwar is one of the most profound symbols in the Indian spirituality. It is half Shiva, half Shakti, half masculine, half feminine energy over here, and yet completely whole. This archetype reminds us that the true mastery is not found by choosing one side. Okay, it is found by integrating both. And if you look at the other religions like Hermetism or any other religion, it says every man has a woman in him, and every woman has a man in him. So the balancing of the energies, I also, masculine and feminine have giving and receiving energy. So think about that balance which brings over here with this kind of form. Okay, and immediately I feel that many of you might have spent years trying to fit yourself into one identity, one role, one version of yourself, but your soul was never meant to be limited. You were always meant to hold multiple truths, and at the same time, in a one given point of time, you might have different personalities as well. And when I say personality, I'm not talking about in a psychological sense, like split personality. Please don't take it wrong. But I'm talking about one person have multiple faces, multiple ways of interacting with different part of the world. Okay, now let's look at your supporting oracle card first. Our first card from the modern life is Procrastination Master. In the karma card, we have the house, and there's the fourth house. In the positive sense, it says what makes you feel secure, support, your home base and family. In the shadow side, it says, as you did in the past, your home base or your family. So family is your both strength and your shadow side or the sorrow side. Do what makes you feel secure. That is the message I see over here. Okay. Your emotional card is reflection. And I think this is a beautiful energy to come with temples. Reflection is the process of reviewing and summarizing, allowing you to draw wisdom from the past experience. When reflection arises, it reminds you to assess your growth and the changes and gain insight from the past lessons. It's talking about integration in a very different way, but it is. Okay, then we have Saturn in Sagittarius with fulfillment. And if you see over here, this is the talisman of winning a lottery. So I think this is also talking about abundance. Your tea leaves is talking about elephant. A long journey, either physical or mental, will leave you wiser at the end. In pile number 1, we had similar energy, but in the form of carriage. If you were drawn to pile number 1, I would suggest please go to that. Maybe you'll get more insights over there with this messaging. Okay, we have eye. This looks like the eye of Horus, and it talks about psychic ability, trust your intuition. That's where you can see it. Star. Guaranteed success. Guaranteed success. I think the talisman and the success energy has come back for you. Okay, and then we have parrot. It's a chatter. That was the word which came to me, but it says someone will gossip about all your secrets. So be cautious. This is a caution card. In today's pile, all of them got 3 tea leaves and one was a caution. In yours the only pile where we got 4 tea leaves, but the caution is still there. And I think it's telling during the evolution, there are always other energies which we attract. And I think all the 3 piles have been made aware by the divine that what they need to actually be cautious of. Okay, with this, when I'm taking at your personality using the oracle cards over here, pile number 3, uh, this is interesting because I don't actually see procrastination. This card over here got my attention. The first thing, procrastination master, because I don't see procrastination here in the traditional sense. Like it has become a very popular word nowadays. I'm a procrastinator. People are working on it. They're healing it through different healing modalities. In fact, I get a lot of people who come to me and say, "I'm procrastinating right now. Can I cure it?" But here, this energy is very different. With Ardhnarishwar, this energy is very different. What I see is someone standing between two worlds. Someone who knows they are ready for change, and also knows that once they move forward, okay, life can never be the same again. Now understand, sometimes what looks like procrastination is actually hesitation before transformation. Okay, your brain is always responding through flight and fight mode, and moving out of situation needs to create new neural pathways, conviction to overcome fear of unknown, and resilience to grow. So it's a lot of work for your brain and your mind will try, okay, can I keep the person in the same state rather than changing anything. Uh, so if I give you another example over here, I'm thinking, suddenly I had a visual of a butterfly. Butterfly, before it leaves the cocoon. See, the butterfly is not lazy, it is preparing, and I feel that many of you are in that phase. Now if you look at the karma card over here, okay, we have the fourth house. The fourth house actually represents home, family, roots, security, belongingness. And the positive side speaks about what makes you feel secure, your support system, your foundation. But the shadow side speaks about becoming too attached to the familiar, too attached to the past, too attached to the comfort zone. And I think this is one of the biggest lesson for this pile. Okay, this pile is going through a journey of evolution. Okay, and it's learning when to stay rooted and learning when to grow beyond your roots. Okay, now we move to the reflection card. Uh, because when this card came in, honestly, this card feels perfect for Narishwar. Like I said, it says it in a different energy. It is extracting wisdom from it. Okay, because the reflection is not simply saying that remember the past. It is saying that look for the wisdom in that past. It is looking back and realizing, now I understand why that happened to me. Okay, like if you're conspiracy, if you will say, now I understand what the relationship actually taught me. Or let's say there was a delay in your job or a success, because we're seeing business and success over here. Maybe you are building a business and you thought, okay, now I understand why this delay was necessary. Maybe there was some global aspect which happened, and your delay was necessary for you because this was a preparation phase for you. It tells me that many of you are currently in the phase of reviewing your life from the higher perspective. Like, you have become an observer of your life in a timeline. The Saturn is Sagittarius with fulfillment. Here, I think that is one of the strongest cards in your entire personality profile. Okay, because Saturn is discipline, commitment, mastery, and Sagittarius is expansion, vision, purpose. So this gives me a persona of a person. Okay, the image speaks about a merchant waiting of a ship to arrive. He's sitting on a chest, and there's a cash over here, and he's waiting for the ship to arrive. To after a long journey. And I think that this is exactly where many of you are. You have been working towards something for a long time, and now you are approaching fulfillment, not instant success, not overnight success. Maybe overnight as well, because you have the talisman of winning a lottery over here in fulfillment. So that could also be a possibility. But this looks more like to me like an earned success in a form of recognition, new business, job, or for overall wealth, which you are creating for yourself. Now let's look at the tea leaves over here. The first tea leaf is the elephant, and it speaks about the long journey that leaves you wiser. Okay, I see the eye about psychic ability and intuition. We have the star. Okay, it speaks about success, and the parrot warns us about the gossip and the outside opinion. And what is fascinating is that these four messages together tells a story: a long journey, a stronger intuition, success, and people talking about it. This tells me that many of you are entering a phase where your growth becomes visible, and not everyone will understand it, which brings us beautifully into the first section of your reading. Okay, your secret strength. Now let's look at your cards over here. Okay, we have the Seven of Wands. I'll show it to you. Then we have the Star. The Star is back. Lot of wish fulfillment, hopefulness. I see. Page of Cups and the World. Wow, the World has come. The world has come as your strength. Beautiful. Pile number three, your first hidden strength, looking at this, I can say, is resilience. The seven of swords appear, when someone has had to defend the position, defending their belief, their dreams, their identity. And I think many of you have spent years feeling misunderstood. But instead of giving up, you keep going. That is resilience, my friend. And now we move to, the star. And I love seeing this card here because your second hidden strength is hope. Okay, guaranteed success, but I say this is hope over here, okay, which is guaranteeing this because uh, uh you know uh, this is not like blind optimism. This is the ability to keep believing even after disappointment. Some people experience setbacks and become cynical. Your experience setbacks, and somehow you continue believing that something better is possible. This is a gift. Then we have the page of cups over here, and look at this. This person has, you can see they have left their legs down. They're carefree right now. Okay. And this tells me that beneath your strength is a very open heart. You are capable of wonders, my friend. I would love to meet you, pile number three. Creativity, imagination, emotional intelligence. You have not allowed life to make you hard. And that is beautiful. Well, I mean, after going so much, you have hope, you have strength, and you have creativity and imagination to live like a child as well. Okay. And this is beautiful. And I finally, when the world came in, one of the strongest cards in the tarot, the world makes me, tells me that one of your hidden strength is your ability to see the bigger picture, which I'm telling you honestly is not with a lot of people in today's world. We are already talking about you becoming an observer of your life when we're talking about this section. Okay. And uh, I can see you can observe your life, your patterns, your curves and edges of your life, and you understand that every ending is a new beginning for you. So you have a very clear thoughts about that. Every cycle contains the seed of the next cycle, and you understand this thing. So you don't lose your hope. Okay, you don't lose yourself. You naturally think in the terms of growth and evolution. And with this, I think your glow up will show us a fantastic, fantastic thing. Okay, I'll see what the cards are. We have the Ace of Cups. Look at this shiny, luminous pearl. I'm feeling so drawn to it. And the light is also on that. The Four of Cups. Okay, we have the Strength. What a beautiful Strength card. It came in pile number three as well, but the position was very different. But in, sorry, pile number two as well. And the position was different, the thought was different. But if you feel drawn, you can definitely check pile number two. We have the Nine of Pentacles. Now, when I look at this energy, pile number three, okay, my eyes were directly drawn to the luminous pearl, as I told you, because this luminous pearl reminds me of the Ardhnarishwar. Okay, because pearls are created through transformation. A small irritation becomes something precious. A small particle of sand turns into something so precious. Okay, like it's a challenge before wisdom, a wound that becomes strength. Your next glow up definitely begins emotionally. Your heart is opening in a new way. Then we move to the Four of Cups over here, and this is important. This is very important because this card shows someone who already has blessings around them but is struggling to see them. I think part of your glow up involves appreciation, recognizing what is already working, recognizing what is already beautiful. I'll say recognizing how far you have already come in your life, because then you see, then we have this beautiful strength card over here. And when I'm looking at it, it's like, it's once again, I can see the harmony. This is not a struggle. Okay, this is not like a traditional strength card, woman trying to open the jaw of the lion. Okay, this is the lion is no longer being fought; it is being understood. Okay, there's a connection between the two. And this tells me that your next glow up is about not about becoming more powerful. It is about becoming more comfortable with your power. You already know your power, but it's about becoming more comfortable with that. Okay. And I finally, when we got the Nine of Pentacles, this is one of my favorite cards because the card represents independence, confidence, self worth. Okay. And enjoying what you have created. Your glow up is moving you towards a version of yourself that feels secure without needing constant external validation. So you're not just becoming an observer, but you're also canceling the outward noise, the chatter which is going to follow. You're already making a shield around you, okay, which will not penetrate it in any way. So this looks really, really amazing. Now I would love to see how your future self energy is. Let's check your cards. We have the source, then we have the Eight of Cups with letting go, integration. The temperance is back. in another form altogether, but the same message. And the King of Pentacles with abundance. So, pile number 3, the first card when I saw Source, okay, and I love this card appeared, because in today's reading, it has appeared on all the 3 readings, okay, and if you look at the messaging over here, maybe this energy is in all the 3 piles today, because regardless of which archetype someone chooses, we all are returning to the same source. Your future self understands this deeply, very deeply. You understand this, that we all come from the same source and we go back to the same source, like the amalgamation of Ardhnarishwar we're talking about. The source is Shiv and Shakti, the masculine feminine energy. Okay, connecting with the source uh, is very powerful message over here, and you definitely understand this. Okay, because I think in your future self you have understood everything deeply, and then we have, because letting go, and this feels important because your future self, you will not believe this, pile number 3. Um, this happened in pile number 2, and it has happened for you as well. The moment the source came in, the lighting changed. Okay, and I think this is a sign. I don't think anything happens without a reason, and I think this is a sign. So if you are drawn to pile number 2 in any way for any answers you are looking for, I will suggest, please look into that reading. Okay, not just because of the simplicity, but also I think because this was a divine message for you. Okay, and the lighting change is reflecting in your cards right now. Okay, so the focus, if you see, has come to the 4th house, which we're talking about, being in the comfortable zone, being in the house right now, or being in the family where you need to move out of it. Okay, so I would suggest that look into this part of it. Okay, because coming back to the letting go, my thoughts for that was, because why this is important, because your future self is no longer carrying any old identity. Okay, and that's when the light went out. So it is a strong symbol. I'll say that, please look into that. Your future self is telling you that I am definitely not the one I started this journey. Okay, this identity is free of old fears. This is free of old expectation, old version of themselves. There is freedom here. Okay, now if you see the integration, the temperance is back. And honestly, if you could choose one card to represent your entire reading, it would be this one, because it started from here and it's ending over here. Okay. And this is temperance. This is Ardhnarishwar. This is the union of opposite. The masculine and the feminine, the spiritual and the material, the dreamer and the achiever. I'll say your future self is no longer divided. Okay. Your future self is completely whole. It understands different part of it, and it has integrated its strengths in a way that it is creating this luminous light around it, the yin yang symbol, the rainbow. If you're looking at this is like an evolved you, the same energy, but in a much more evolved you, because you have taken the step, you have moved on, you have done your process, and the future self has become so aware, or so they can alchemize with their words, with their energies, because the energies is creating abundance, which corresponds beautifully with the 9 of Pentacle and the world. If you see this vertically, look at how beautiful your journey is. Okay, you're observing, you're creating and building. Okay, and a long-term wealth, long-term abundance, and then you have created an entire empire for yourself. Okay, while you have gone through these phases of understanding your strength, okay, creating it into a glow up for yourself, you have built an empire, and this empire has you, who's already very emotionally stable, who has integrated all of her parts, or his parts, to his soul, and know how to let go. Okay, because you have understood, the future self of you have understood, the abundance is not only money. It is peace, purpose, confidence, alignment, relationship, joy, definitely, and a deep sense of fulfillment. You align with your purpose. Pile number 3, if I have to summarize your entire reading in one sentence, it would be this: your greatest power is not becoming someone else, it is integrating every part of you, who you already are. This is the lesson of Ardhnarishwar. This is the lesson of temperance. And in the path of your soul, the path your soul is currently walking right now. Okay, with that, because that is what your soul wants. The soul wants the integration and build this journey for themselves. So, with this, I close your reading, pile number 3. If this reading resonates with you, or you have any interpretation of the card, please share that with me in the comment section. I have many blessings for you in the path of integration, fulfillment, and self mastery. I will see you in the next reading. Bye.